I wanted to focus today on that all-important relationship between ourselves and God our Father. It's very easy and very tempting sometimes to think of that relationship between us and our Father in heaven as being different or distorted when you compare it against the natural family. Now, Jesus was very good at taking natural pictures like family, like farms, fields, plants, that kind of thing, to illustrate fundamental truths. And what we need to do is to get back to the model that he does use so we don't get any kind of distortion happening. For example, it's possible for us to believe that God is somehow expecting more from us than we can produce. Or sometimes we can think of him as someone who directs us, like chessboard pieces, that our lives are like that. So just for a moment, I wanted to explore that. And of course, we have the starting point in John chapter 1, where it talks about that all who received him, to those who believed in his name, gave he the right to become children of God. And of course, in other places, it talks about us having been given the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. So we have become sons and daughters, and it's a really important place to be. We are also brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ. Now, in my own family, of course, I like to think of it and compare it with what I'm thinking about God, just to make sure, just to check myself out, that I'm not thinking of God in a distorted way. For example, when our children are younger, they need direction. They need to be told things, they need to have certain values explained to them. But as they get older, so we give them more responsibility and we allow them to do their own thing, as it were, under guidance, of course. And then gradually they became more independent. They become able to make decisions on their own, being able to make things up, to initiate things. And we stand by and make sure that they're going in the right direction. We give them help whenever they need it. So when they're fully grown, what we don't want to do is to be telling them all the time what to do. Do we? That's ridiculous. Yet there are some people who perhaps think God is like that. What I want is for my children to be completely independent, self-governing, self-regulating, fully able to take initiative and make up the steps in their life themselves. Obviously, it's good that they have the values that we have instilled into them. But I don't want to have to direct them at every moment. What I do is stand back, allow them in some ways to make their own mistakes, because they've got to learn for themselves. And God is like that too. He wants us to learn, even though he could tell us all the time what the problem is. He wants us to learn. There's something about character building in the learning. So we've got to stand back as parents. I'm sure we all know that. And that must be true of us too, that with God our Father, he wants us to take the initiative. He wants us to create. He wants us to do things completely new. Just think for a moment. Because we're all individual, do you think God is up there thinking to himself, I wonder what that person's going to do next? Perhaps he will do something, and she will do something that I've never seen before on this earth. It's very possible. Very, very possible. It's almost like God is learning about us as much as we are learning about him. And this is something we need to remember. We must not think that somehow God is directing us in a sort of chess piece way. Everything is predetermined. Now there's a verse in John 15:15 which is really, I find really important. It's Jesus says this. It confirms what I've just been saying. He says, I call you no more slaves, because the slave does not know what the Father is doing. But I call you sons and daughters, because the son and the daughter knows what the Father is doing. And we have the mind of Christ. We have the heart of God given to us. And so we can do these things because we know the heart of the Father, and we can determine to do things. And elsewhere in the Bible it says that God will bless wherever we put our foot. He will bless whatever we turn our hand to, for those people who are obedient to him. And we are, I hope, obedient to his commands.